Good morning. Of course, it is Friday because you are seeing this little face here live on the Women Talk Show. It has been a frigid week, -50 with the windshield. It's been crazy in Calgary. But you know what? I like the cold. I like the cold because I truly believe that in life you need contrast. You need cold to appreciate the heat. You need the heat to appreciate the cold. And same thing with our stories. We need good stories. We need bad stories to appreciate the good stories sometimes. And when you have a lot of contrast in your life, it makes your life rich. It makes life so much better. Because let's face it, if everything was just beautiful and rosy, no obstacle, you would be a pretty shallow human being. That's right, a shallow human being. Because when you go through your difficult stories in life, that is when you learn a lot. That is when you become a better human being. That is when you get to actually connect with other people. And then you share those stories to help the people that are going through similar stories as you. So really, I love what I do. I think I have the best life in the world. I have the best job in the world. Well, of course, it's the best job. I created it. Just kidding. Anyway, this week we have a fabulous week. Now let me get down with this technicality. Okay, so on Tuesday, we have Women Talk Okotoks, where yours truly will be sharing my story on how coming out of the closet gave me superpowers. What you say? That's right. And I believe that 100%. But if you want to know the story, you'll have to come to Okotoks. And then on Wednesday, oh, I'm very, very excited about this one. We are going to have Women Talk Calgary North. And we have a brand new location, Angels Cafe, just down by the river. It is going to be amazing. That location, you just watch out. It's going to be great. My director, Bonnie Earl, and I were talking, and they have this incredible patio that fits over 100 people. So we are going to be watching the Weather Network for June, July, August, and September. And whenever we have a really nice warm night predicted, woo! We are going to market this like crazy, and we are going to host Women Talk outdoor by the Bow River. How amazing is that going to be? But you know what? I think you should come and support Bonnie and Dixie this Wednesday. And of course, our fabulous stalkers, which are going to be sharing their stories. And then on Thursday, we had our launch in November, and we are going to be hosting our Women Talk Bow Valley, which is in Canmore, at this amazing, amazing restaurant. I had the best fish and chip ever in my life. In my life. I'm 54. That's a whole lot of experience. Yes, the food is incredible there. And the name is just not coming to me right now, but that's okay. You know why? Because today my guest is the director of Women Talk Bow Valley, the amazing herself, Helen Rose. Boom! Look at that. Just like that, you appear.
You have so much incredible energy. Holy.
Are you
It's
tired
awesome.
now? Are you going to need a nap?
I always need a nap. Georgetown Inn, my dear. Georgetown Inn. And
Thank you. That I
yeah.
was like, it completely left me. Just by the way, all of these events that are going on, they're going to be it below in the comments. So you just scroll down a little bit, and you can find any of our events, and you can go and buy your tickets. These amazing stories that you get to share is $20. Come on,
Oh my.
$20. That's insane. You can eat or not. We have these agreements with the restaurants. Not everybody eats. We'd love for you to eat and support them and have a glass of wine, of course, or beer or gin, or just a coffee or tea. It's all good. How are you, Helen?
I'm excellent. And I have to tell you, Georgetown has been voted for some ridiculous amount of years for we do this the best of the best in Canmore. And Georgetown has been voted consistently every year for their fish and chips. Like, honestly, they're so good. It's ridiculous. I
It's
love it.
I,
Yeah.
I'm not a fish eater. I don't eat
Yeah.
fish.
Me
It's just
either.
not my thing, right? And I thought, you know what? I'm in this Irish pub, and so I'm gonna try the fish and chip and
Yeah.
see. And I was just like,
It's
oh my
really
God, I'm
nice.
coming back next month. Guess what I'm eating on Thursday?
Fish and chips. And you know what, too, though, is their shepherd's pie is really good. Like, all their food is really good. I've never had one bad meal at this place. It's
Oh,
great.
cool. Look at that. You have your fans. Your fans are on board.
Ah,
Michelle says, you are awesome, my friend.
I love Michelle Limpost. She's an awesome woman.
Oh.
Thanks, Michelle. Good
And
morning.
Angie kind of was agreeing with my philosophy. So, and we are saying, let's fill this thing up. All of our events, 3 events next week. That's going to be
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you, my friend. And by the way, if you have any questions or comments, just post them below the video. And you have to go to the Women Talk Events Facebook page for us to see your comments. So go to the Women Talk Events Facebook page, post your comments below the video, and then we can post your questions and comments. We have one. Oh, look at that. You have another fan, Teresa. Do you know Teresa?
Teresa Joy Engel, perhaps? Yes.
Yes.
Now, Teresa is going to be eventually speaking at Women Talk. She is a very dear friend of mine from
She's a
Canmore.
member.
Oh, she's a member?
She just
Awesome,
joined. So get a
Teresa.
hold of her. She needs to talk in Canmore.
She does need to talk. And she just published a book, which is called The Jam in My Sandwich. And I'm telling you, this woman is amazing.
Oh, the
Yeah.
jam in my
The
sandwich.
Jam in My Sandwich, right? Like, why
That's a
would you
great
even need to
name.
know anymore? It's just an awesome name. But she's a really lovely, lovely person. I've known her for years.
We got another fan, Annette.
The beautiful Annette Stanwyck.
Woo-hoo. Oh, okay. So before we move forward, because I kind of forgot to mention this before I brought you on board. Okay, I'm going to put you back in the lobby for a second because I want people to see this poster full size. This is unbelievable. We are hosting our first ever Women Talk Africa. Take a look at the speakers. Isn't that amazing? I am so excited for this event. It is going to be an incredible, incredible event. It is happening February 1st in Calgary. Go and get your ticket. womentalk.ca/Africa. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to create an international community of women that are story warriors, that are there to learn and support one another. And this is a very important step. So if you are a Women Talk fan, please come and support this event. And they are actually making me an African outfit. I love the colors. Wait till you see these women. We had an event last year at Edmonton. The clothes they wear just blow my mind. So yeah, that's it for my little extra info. But yeah, I would love to see everybody at a Women Talk Africa. So let's get back to you, my friend. What's new for Helen Rose in 2020?
Okay, so I signed up for Sandra Yancey's store program last July at the eWomen conference in Texas and in Dallas, and I took a huge leap of faith, and it has not failed me. So I went in December, and what she does is she is my business intensive coach, and we went there. There's 6 of us, so I'm the only Canadian in this.
Oh, whoa. There's 6 of you only with Sandra Yancey?
In this one class. Like, she had so many sign up that she split it into 3. So you know what it means when you only have 6 is you get more, right?
I had lunch
And
with Sandra Yancey
isn't
once.
she incredible?
Oh my God, she is so inspiring. She really changed me.
Yeah, yeah. And we sit in here and she pulls no punches and she does it all with love. And she is truly, truly interested in how we're going to succeed as women. And so I went into this intensive, and I don't know if you attended the one talk that I did about the box that I always do is like um, thinking outside the box. And so it's kind of morphed into this really cool exercise that I do. And it's really just delving into you as a person and why you think the way you do and how your experiences affect you and all of that and how you can carry it without it ruining your life. We have to make good use of our disasters. So of course I go down there. She's like the guru-y kind of person. She's kind of like you, right? And I was really nervous to pitch. And it was I can't remember where we were talking the other night where we have it was in Cochrane, where you have that fear. You're making yourself really vulnerable. So anyway, I go down and I do my pitch and she goes, "Okay, that's good. Sit down." I was like, "Okay." And so she has come up with this and she makes you do the work. She doesn't do it for you, but she really helps you find your way. I am now in the process of rebranding Helen Rose. Helen Rose will always be Helen Rose, of course, but it's now going to be the gift of being present.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Oh,
say you're going to get a breast implant or something. Just kidding.
good Lord, I don't need one of those.
I'm just kidding. That's
I need a
no,
lift.
you know what?
But
She
anyway,
is.
yeah.
I'm super excited for you
Yeah,
because you went down there to spend time with this most amazing woman, one of the top leaders in North America, female
totally.
leaders for sure.
Yep.
And you purchased the Women Talk chapter for Bow Valley, and you're about to launch that. You're launching a new website, like your new coaching, like you're just like on fire.
I am on fire and I'm so excited. So what's beautiful, and it sounds kind of hokey, but 2020 means hindsight is 2020. This is the year. It's also a leap year. So now, and I took a leap of faith with Sandra. I remember wanting to sign up for the program. It's not cheap. And
No.
I literally got up, went back, got up, went back, and I was standing in the bathroom one morning getting ready, and I've been looking at myself, and I thought, you know what? Stop. You raised a child all by yourself. You took that leap of faith to be responsible for another human being wholly, and I did it very well. I might say he's perfect. And that's the other thing. My son and daughter-in-law are giving me another granddaughter this year.
Woo!
So
I
yeah, and I
love
have.
how you love your grandbabies.
Oh my God. Anyway, so I thought, stop, Helen. This is your time now. I've done all I can do for my family other than just be there. They don't need me to, run in and out and take care of them. They're wonderful. So I thought, just take the leap of faith. So then when we went in and Sandra was talking about she had these goddess cards on each table, and you took one, and I took it and I lifted it open and it said leap of faith. I thought, are you kidding
Wow.
me?
So tell
So
me, I just want to ask this quick question. Financially, in your head, how did you justify the investment? Like just the money part. Obviously, the learning is going to be incredible, but do
yeah,
you go through a logical thing of justifying the investment?
I do. So I've been in business for 30 years. I've had two very successful businesses. So that part doesn't frighten me. I mean, I still get the new business jitters, but you truly cannot make money without spending money. And it is an investment. And you don't know what you don't know, right? And Sandra knows 100 times more than what I know about. It's one thing to start a business. I used to teach computers and I used to run the train station in Banff. And there's a different there's a difference in doing that versus that personal level that comes in. Now, this is me. This is Helen Rose to the world, sharing my vulnerabilities. I'm not above what I speak about. I'm not above what I coach about. And thank you, Teresa. Teresa just said happy for you, Helen. And so um, it's frightening to spend a great deal of money. But you know what? Money is only energy. It comes and goes. I mean, I'll be 58 this year, and I've never been poor, but I've never been rich. And it just doesn't matter at the end of the day. This is what I want to bring to the world. So I just find the money. That's just the way it is. You just find it, right? And it's scary. I'm not even for a moment thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for all this? I'm not worried about it. I am worried about it, but I'm not. Does that make sense? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
Yeah.
have faith. You have
Yeah.
faith that what you've
Totally.
acquired will.
Yeah.
And the same thing with buying a Women Talk chapter, right? I mean, ours is a bit different because you will see income right away a little bit,
Yes.
but it is an investment. But what it
And it
will
takes
do,
3 to 5 years to build a business. It's
yeah,
not an overnight success. Anyone who says overnight success, I call you know what, because I think it's impossible to be an
totally.
overnight success.
So you have a podcast?
I do. And under the rebrand, it's going to be The Gift of Being Present, Sharing Stories with Helen Rose. So my podcast is, and it's funny because, you're talking about the Women Talk Africa. Monica Kay, who I don't ever want to insult her because I
Oh,
can't pronounce her
I
last name.
had it last week. I practiced, and now I'm not gonna try because
Yeah, forget it. I just
I'm
call her
afraid.
Monica Alphabet. She's going to be I'm going to put a call out. There's a lot of women that listen to Women Talk and Women that are going to be guests on my podcast because we're talking about the very thing. It's like, how can you move forward when you think you're almost at the brink of never coming back from whatever your experience is? Tell me about that and how you came back, because then you can inspire other listeners that you're not alone. Don't give up, all of that.
I like it. That's great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by the way, Helen also did a talk with me on our Women Talk podcast. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's fun.
So what do you like to talk about when you're on stage?
Well, so my message is I hesitate to use the word overcome because it means it goes over. I really talk about walking through the trenches of my experience, and I would love to be able to say that I had a lovely childhood. I've had some very traumatic experiences in my life. And that's what I'm saying is I'm making use of my disasters. So in order to show how I've made use of my disasters, I have to tell the story. So I talk quite a bit about my experiences as a child and how it's carried through and just the choices I've made. And, it's kind of all that, kind of my journey is what I talk about.
What's your favorite thing about being on stage? Why do you like it?
Well, I know you've heard me speak. I quite often speak about my little girl that's with me, and we all have that. We have a little Bridget, we have a little Helen, we have a little Teresa, a little Annette, and whatever experiences that little girl has carried, it carries with you as an adult, and it is your responsibility to. Good morning, Bonnie. It is your responsibility to take care of your little girl.
What does
So
that mean?
Well, so for me, okay, so here's the thing is I watched my granddaughter who's 20 months old. And I'm seriously, she is the cutest 20-month-old on the planet.
Somebody's in
Oh my
love.
gosh, I'm so in love with her. It's just ridiculous. And she's in love with me and we have this amazing connection. And quite often little Helen will become very sad all of a sudden. Um uh because she didn't have that love and that nurturing. And I often sit there and I think about me as a little girl thinking, I watch Layla when she's upset. She goes to her rock, which is her mom. And her mom's amazing. Her mom is so loving and so caring and so patient and kind. I think she's so lucky to have that. And little Helen didn't get that. I'd already been in probably 6 foster homes by the time I was 20 months old. So I didn't have a rock. So I've had to become my own rock, which is really interesting to do and not
Mm-hmm.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
So quite often little Helen will come forward with a great deal of sadness. So it's my job to say, come on, we got this, kid. It sounds silly to say it at 58, but anyone that's lived through traumatic experiences can really resonate with their little self.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. That's because a lot of people every that has a different meaning to a lot of people talking to the, go back and talk to the little girl you were. But that's beautiful. And I think you're probably experiencing this. One of the things that I believe in is that life happens for us. So all the ugliness that happened to you as a child is now making you this exceptional human being
Oh,
and
thank
this
you, Bridget.
exceptional grandma and mom.
Yeah. I think that's true. And, certainly I have not. suffered um, by any means the worst thing that could happen to children. For sure not. And that's where that gratitude piece comes in, right? That's where that piece comes in, where you say to her, listen, you've always been warm, you've always been fed, you've always had chances. There's some people that don't get those things. And
Mm.
so that's where that gratitude piece comes in, and you have to talk to the little one and say, listen, you know? And it's not about being the victim, and it's not about being sorry for yourself, because you know what? People get tired of listening to that after a while.
Yeah, and that's really, at Women Talk, we share these really big stories sometimes. Sometimes the stories of murder. But
Totally.
it's like it's beautiful. It's the weirdest thing. You would think like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's so depressing. But it's not like
God.
that at all.
No, and
Ever.
do you notice this theme? You likely do, but do you notice throughout everyone's story, no matter how horrific it has been, if they could go back, I don't know how many times I've talked to people that said, "Oh, I wouldn't change it." And I often think, well, if I could go back, would I want to change that? And I had an interesting event happen this summer when I went to Greece to be with my birth family, who are beautiful people. But I'll tell you, my birth father is a very, very um, uh, intense. I don't know how to describe him. I don't know him well enough to understand why he does what he does. And I will tell you, this summer at 57, I was never so grateful to be adopted by the family that I have struggled with for most of my life. And when you come to that realization, that forgiveness piece just flies right in your face, and it's like, "Oh yeah, thank you." And I wish my mom were alive, because I would love to tell her thank you despite all of the things that went on. But that's the part of learning about your journey, as you come into that compassion and all of those things. Yeah.
And I think you actually can get a step further than compassion. You can actually eventually get to a place where you are grateful for
Totally.
it. Like I know it sounds weird, like to be abused,
Mhm.
grateful to be, because without that, you're not that.
That's right.
Contrast again, right? Without the ugly, the good, it doesn't really
Yeah.
happen.
Right, but have you ever spoken I don't know. I think I've heard from one person once that they had a perfect life, a perfect childhood, perfect life. And I
I
thought,
go
"Huh,
bullshit.
I do too." And I think, "Well, huh, how do you go up from perfect?"
Yeah, and you know what? The other thing I've come like, so there are people that have better lives than other, but
Oh,
I must say that the women that are inspiring, that are powerful, that are truly deeply happy
yeah.
are the women that have walked through very deep, dark trenches.
I agree. And I look at my granddaughter who has had the perfect life. Does that mean she's not going to struggle with something? Not at all. I just hope that, we get to be there as her family. I mean, this child has 6 grandparents, who all are crazy about her. And
Oh my
her
God,
parent,
how
oh,
beautiful is that?
yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah. So, but she's going to have something. She's not going to float through life. Who wants to float through life anyway?
She won't be able to hide the stuff she does as a teenager with that many adults around her. It's
I
gonna
know
be crappy.
my kids will say, "Well, she doesn't have to worry about her parents. Wait till Yaya hears of some of this stuff." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not going to be the disciplinary, and no way I get to be the good guy." Yeah, I've already been the good guy, good cop, bad cop. Yeah,
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 totally.
yeah.
Yeah, so what are you most excited about for 2020?
I'm most excited about the family aside. I'm definitely most excited about the gift and how it's going to be life changing for people. That is the thing I'm most
What do you
excited
mean the
about.
gift?
The gift of being present. So it's a
Like your
physical,
program, you mean, or
yes,
what
my
does that mean?
program.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's part of the program is a physical box, which is a gift, which is, I do workshops with people. And when I first started, I think one person, one person left their box behind. I was so offended. It was like, what? But now, the last one I did, I think there was 17 women in that room, and they were PhDs and master's degrees, and they took those boxes home, and because they got it, they got that that's their bit. that's what I'm most excited about, to have people come to where I sit.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic. I am excited to watch you fly, baby. And
Thank
now that
you.
you're right close to me as one of my director, you are one of my main squeeze. I'm excited. We're going to have fun together.
Can we tell that story about our first conversation about
Oh,
women
yeah,
talk?
we will have to
Do
take
we
a
have
couple
time?
of minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I knew Helen, like, she had joined as a member but we hadn't really sat down to have any kind of good conversation. So I go to a meeting for CAPS, what
With
Canadian,
Patricia Morgan, Canadian
yeah.
Association of Professional Speakers. Yeah.
So Helen was there. So Helen corners me. And this is what she says to me. You say it.
I'm not sure I buy into the philosophy of women talk. You have these women. I know. Like, who the hell do I think I am?
I
But
love it. It was great.
I said I'm not sure I buy into the philosophy of it. We have these women that get up sometimes for the first time that tell horrific stories, and we kind of just leave them there. And how do we help them? Well, you were like, you could see the look on your face, and rightfully so. And you're like, oh, please don't stop coming. Please don't, please stay as a member. And then we had met another week just before Women Talk Convention. We had breakfast at Chez Francois. And all of a sudden it was like, ding. And then when we were at convention, who was that beautiful girl that got up? Jackie
Matoni.
Matoni. She got up and told a horrific story. And the love that came to that woman during her speech, none of us, we were all
In
trying
shock.
not to stop. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, that's when I got why it works.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
so thank
tribe.
you, Bridget, and thank you for, letting me be honest. That's one of my traits is I'm honest, and it's a blessing and a curse.
I love it. I'm as
Yeah,
direct as you are. And by
yeah.
the way, Jackie Matoni is one of our speakers at Women Talk Africa.
Oh, you
She was
have to
kind of
hear this woman.
kidnapped by a army general at the age, I
God.
think it was like 15 or something. It's the story, but she's incredible.
Well, and
Um,
that's one of the things we talk about. What I talk about is, I remember listening to her story, and I was gonna get up and talk about my poor little foster care story that really just kind of paled in comparison.
but it
That's
doesn't.
not what it's about, right? It's
No,
about each person's journey, but it's another piece to that gratitude. My gosh, how did she survive that? And she's such a beautiful girl,
really, really,
physically
really.
and
So it was quite
internally.
funny. So not only did Helen stay as a member, she
Oh,
bought
yeah.
the chapter. I was like, all right, go home, go big or go home.
All over eggs Benny.
All right. Well, thank you for being my guest today.
Thank
It
you,
was
honey.
fabulous talking to
Thank you
you.
so much.
And I will see you on Thursday in
Yes.
Canmore at Georgetown for some fish and chip, baby.
Yeah. I adore you, Bridget. Thank
I
you
adore
so
you too.
much.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye, honey. Bye.